Hi everyone, PlayDoh here, and today we'll be discussing the most noteworthy updates provided by the latest patch to Hogwarts Legacy, primarily focusing on the bug fix to the transformation and curse interaction. While going over the patch notes yesterday and seeing this bug fix, I had a feeling that there were going to be posts and complaints from people calling it a nerf, which I don't agree with. Call it a hot take if you want, but this was an unintended interaction that was never supposed to work in this way and was reported by a player on the official WB forums on February 17th. So, how did this bug work? For those that were unaware, you needed to upgrade your transformation spell so that it now turns enemies into an exploding object, and also take the Blood Curse talent, which makes it so that cursed enemies shared the damage taken. Then, all you would do is curse as many enemies as you could, then turn one of those enemies into an exploding barrel, and then pick it up. The end result, every enemy that you cursed, no matter their HP, would die instantly. The bug in the combo appears at the stage where we pick up the barrel. Just picking up the barrel does no damage, and there is no damage to be shared amongst the cursed enemies, hence an unintended bug interaction, which had every right to be fixed. Side note, for all of you plant lovers, be prepared for another patch with another bug fix that will most likely target the herbology trade, as well as the headache and noxious talents, as all three of these are bugged as well. It makes zero sense that herbology gives all plants a 75% increase in damage per level 3 trait, when its counterpart in concentration only does 9% at level 3, and the headache and noxious talents each give all plants a 25% increase in damage instead of the respective plants noted on the talent card. If you would like more information on this, make sure to check out my traits and talents tier list video linked in the video description down below. Now, with all that said, you can still do this interaction how it was intended in the first place, and it's just as satisfying. As someone who's an avid speedrunner of the battle arenas, when I saw that they fixed these bugs, I too was a bit sad because this interaction was used to assist in going faster. So, instead of sulking, I just loaded up the game and tested all the ways we could still use this interaction how it was intended. This resulted in me getting a faster time on my North Coast speedrun. If you want to see this speedrun, check out that link popping up on the top right hand corner or from the video description down below. The devs fixing this bug doesn't change how this interaction was supposed to work with, as enemies still take shared damage from the curses thanks to the Blood Curse talent. There are 4 ways you can still do the same interaction as before the bug fix, with just one different step added to the end of the combo. We're still going to curse as many enemies as we can, then turn one of them into an exploding barrel. Now, instead of picking up that barrel and throwing it, we can do one of 4 things. For number 1, we can basic attack the barrel 2 times, and it'll blow up, dealing shared damage to all the cursed enemies and killing everything. Number 2, we can launch a spell at the barrel, blow it up, dealing shared damage, and killing all the cursed enemies. Number 3, we can throw a basic object into a barrel, make it explode, dealing shared damage, and killing all the cursed enemies. And finally, at number 4, we can throw another exploding barrel into the enemy we turned into an exploding barrel, and you guessed it, share the damage, and killing all cursed enemies. You can't go wrong with either of these 4 methods to achieve your one-shot cursed enemies combo with transformation. One last thing I wanted to mention regarding this is I was surprised when throwing the cursed enemy we turned to an exploding barrel into a wall or another enemy, making the barrel explode, did not apply the shared damage. My conclusion is that this is related to how they had to fix the bug, since picking up the barrel to prime it for a throw was how the bug was happening in the first place. All in all, this bug fix really didn't change this combo or this interaction. We can now just simply use it how it was intended, and it literally does the same thing, not a nerf. Next, we'll quickly cover the devs fixing the female avatar phase appearing different from the creation preview during gameplay. I want to say this is as fixed as it'll probably get. My character still looks a bit off from what it shows during character selection, but much better than before during in-game animations and cutscenes. If you're curious to what your character should actually look like in-game, just peek at your character during the intro before you load your save. There, it shows the actual face versus what gets rendered in-game. All in all, no more nightmare-fueled scenarios that tended to happen with the female face model prior to this fix. Moving along, we're going to touch on some of the mission bug fixes. If you guys wanted to see a full list of these patch notes, I'll leave a link in the video description down below. To everyone that was stuck on the biscuit quest, you can now complete it and get your 100% if you were waiting on this to be nerfed, I mean bug fixed. The devs also fixed the Madame Kagawa quest, where you learned Arrest of Momentum. This one is the one that I ran into during the story, and man, it was ever annoying. I probably passed the day and night cycle for a good 30 minutes, and she was still missing. What ended up being the fix for me was she was somehow in the courtyard outside of her office, and as soon as I went and talked to her, the game teleported me to her room and I was just stuck. I fast traveled right outside her room, and what do you know? When I went back in her room, she was just magically there. There were other notable bug fixes that were halting player progressions for 100%ing the game, such as opening butterfly chests other than the intended one, not counting towards the Follow the Butterflies quest, as well as the butterflies not appearing at the specific area to progress the same quest. Pretty sure there are still a few of these mission bugs that are halting player progression still lingering around, and I'm sure these will get patched out soon enough. Next, we'll look at some of the quality of life and performance fixes that I found to be helpful. One of the more annoying ones during combat for me was that enemy shields would sometimes just disappear. This has now also been nerfed. There's also a huge list of crashes they fixed relating to various interactions, which I'll let you all brush up on via the link to the full patch notes in the video description. One of the biggest quality of life patch notes that was not documented but was confirmed via Chandler Wood, a community manager at Avalanche, is that they have reduced the frequency of Ignatia Wildsmith's lines. A significant reduction, they say, so while travel is definitely more convenient with flu powder, you won't have to hear about it constantly. Amen. Some of the improvements to performance I noticed as a PC player were the following: fixed performance drops experienced during longevity of the game, memory leaks, and improved VRAM usage. I also noticed an average of about 10 to 15 more FPS when going about versus the last patch. Still not perfect, but we're getting there. Hopefully a few more optimization patches will do the trick. For the PS5 and Xbox Series X specific fixes, everything else we talked about applies aside from the improved VRAM usage that is specific only to PC, along with the following for PS5. Fixed character lip sync animation when original audio is set, fixed localized VO not playing correctly when original audio is set, improved controller LED effects, which I don't think anybody really turns on because of a battery, improved activities performance update and memory usage, and finally, updates to game help, hints, and videos. For the Xbox Series X, cinematics where black flickering would occur on characters' faces has been fixed, fixed graphical glitches with Professor Fig's head, fixed shadow flicker in a teacup, Kappa, improved frame rate performance issues when dismissing the contextual menu, and lastly, improved fidelity mode performance for a smooth 30 FPS experience. Personally, I would always recommend just using the performance mode instead because 60 FPS greater than 30 FPS, but that's just my take. However, with all of that said, my favorite bug fix in this entire patch notes were the fixes to NVIDIA Ansel when casting a spell. If you don't know, NVIDIA Ansel is a basic photo mode for supported games. Prior to this fix, you could not pause the game while casting a spell for those nice cool looking screenshots, and now you can. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. That's it for this one, guys. Thanks for tuning into this quick little update video. If you were all freaking out about transformation, you can now remain calm and enjoy still being the most OP wizard in Hogwarts. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you enjoyed today's video. I'd also appreciate a follow on my Twitch at twitch.tv/PlayDohBear. Feel free to also check out some of my other Hogwarts Legacy content that should be popping up anytime now. These videos and more are also in the description down below. Until the next one, I hope you enjoyed all the nerfs. Peace.